Year 3000 by Penelope Harwood, read by Bridgestock. I was jumping into the deep depths of the ocean. As I began to sink, I grabbed onto Trixie, my 5-year-old dolphin. As we swam down, the water got darker, darker, darker. Finally, we arrived at the bottom of the seafloor. Let me explain. We are in the future, but not for me. For me, it's the present, and for other timelines, it's the past. Well, this is getting confusing. I'll stop talking about timey nonsense. To be honest, not much has changed, but we live underwater. This is how. One day, a legendary scientist walked into a lab and came to the conclusion that we could not be superior mammals if we couldn't go everywhere on the planet. He decided to experiment and find ways we could explore the deepest depths of the unexplored ocean. No one knew about it because he didn't tell anyone. Simply put, it was illegal to work on experiments like these because genetic modification has always been dangerous. One day, while he was taking a blood sample from his arm, he was busted. 2 heavily armed policemen barged into the room. They boomed, "Put your hands up, you're under arrest." The bamboozled man did as they said, but in shock, he dropped the blood sample. The professor had tested on himself lots of times, and when the container smashed, the chemicals in his blood evaporated, and everyone began to breathe in his experiment. It was a perfect apocalypse situation. Sadly, for the scientists, nothing happened. Not yet, anyway. Thanks to the incident, over the years, mankind began to evolve. We became stronger and more resilient than we had been before. For example, if someone cut themselves, it would heal in minutes instead of days. This meant people didn't have to be as careful, and humans became more adventurous. Also, because the experiment had enhanced our range of knowledge, we could solve problems more easily. We were smarter. As time passed, it became harder to breathe. Everybody assumed the pollution had worsened. But what we didn't realise was that we were developing slits on each side of our necks. One day, a man fell off a ferry on the way to work, and he wasn't seen for 2 weeks. All the people on the ferry thought he had drowned. Some marine biologists were examining a coral reef when they saw the man who'd been in the news, unconscious, hidden in the reef. With no hesitation, they swam him up to the land, and to their surprise, he began to breathe again. It turned out that the whole time he'd been able to breathe under the water, and he hadn't died. After that, we realised everyone was able to go underwater and breathe. We had finally evolved past all other animals. We built an underwater civilization and started getting pets like dolphins instead of horses and seahorses instead of dogs. Trixie is my pet dolphin. There. You've all caught up. We now live happily in our underwater kingdom. The end.